Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there, onto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace. And as you can see, this is a map. It's all over the news right now. This invasion that's taking place right now. And, you know, Fox. I didn't even watch CNN. Slovakia, let me get that. But it's all over the news. This invasion is taking place right now as I'm speaking. And it's going to continually be a thing because it's something that needed to happen. In order for this to go down the way it's going down, right? In order for this to go down the way it's going down, there's a lot of things to be involved. And for the past, 2 decades, the U.S., Babylon the Great, has been warring with everything that moves. And its adversary, its the number one place that could potentially put America in its knees, all right, has been quiet for a long period of time, except for in 2016, when it went to Crimea. Other than that, they haven't done nothing. But now they're in a full-blown invasion mode. And people over here don't know what to do, not know what to think. You know, you had the news pretty much painting Putin as a madman, an evil dictator. You name it, they called him. But the reality of this whole situation is that the U.S. and its allies forced his hand. All right? Really forced his hand. And he said enough is enough. He's going to do what he has to do. And he did it so good that at the end of the day, you got to respect what he did. And what I mean by that, you see the green spot right here? He took a chunk of that and declared those areas Russia. And he didn't have to shoot a gun or anything. And they started. So now they hitting all 3-4 points as I'm speaking. And I already see Apostle Gabar already did it. This is not the end all to be all war that we've been looking for, because the end all to be all war is Iran. All right, Russia, Iran, China, when Israel and the United States attack Iran, that's gonna be the war of all wars. This is just a appetizer, so to speak. Now, a couple of scriptures I'm gonna bring out on this one because this is exciting news for us, but this is this man's nature. And let's not forget the spirit too, because me and brother Karam was talking about it. Let's not forget, these are Edomites. Okay? These are Edomites. These Gog and Magog, the people that's in Gog and Magog right now, are attacking other Edomites. All right? This is his nature. This is what he does best. And this, they talking about the catastrophic death toll and everything like that. They already put it in people's mind. How many people is going to die? This proves that you're the most violent people on the planet Earth. Period. All right? You force each other into a certain situation. And with your reckoning, with your wrath, it leaves everybody destructive, man. like I said, the past 2 decades, America been destroying everything in its sight, taking the countries that were good, clean. You know, the structure was fine, everything was fine, and they came and ransacked everything. Now, America's counterpart is doing the same thing, proving that this is Esau, man. Proving. Let me just get the scripture. Luke 11:18. It says, "If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand?" So the question is, if Satan's divided against himself, which he's clearly divided from the very beginning, when this devil came out of the cave, so to speak, and that bastard Christopher Columbus or Christopher Cologne went around and spread his madness, these devils have been at war with one another. But you have like what? The British, the Dutch, Spaniard, the French. Who was I missing? I know. I remember it was 5 of them. Well, you had all those countries at that particular time going to war with one another for territory, because it was all about real estate back then, and they would continuously go to war with each other. Hey, World War One, World War Two. They were divided against themselves. Okay, now you fast forward it. Right now, they completely divided against themselves. So this rhetorical question that the Lord had asked, because the scribes and Pharisees try to, say that he was of Beelzebub, all right, because he was healing, showing that these niggas at the time wasn't right in their mind. But when he said this, this kind of went over their head. And the answer to that, no. When a man's house within a man's household, if it's divided, that household cannot stand. All right. So you have Edomites going after other Edomites, and they talk about we're the most violent people on the planet Earth. We're the thieves and rapists and robbers and all this other nonsense. This is what they're known for. All right. This is exactly what they're known for. Matter of fact, let me get the scripture I had in mind. Psalms 11, I think it's 4. I could start at 4. No, sorry, I'm going to start at 5. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked shall rain snares, fire, brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This is the portion of the wicked. This is the portion of their cup. So the lovers of violence, this is all that this man knows, man. This is his nature. All right, all he knows is war, and they will lie straight to people's faces. They will lie to your face, say they're not gonna bring war, and then they bring war simultaneously. You should hear how they was talking bad about Putin. He said everything that he says that he's not gonna do, he does it. Cause what? Yet the same goddamn people. They gotta do the same thing, man. The scriptures clearly tells you about the characteristics of Esau. We get mad at the Edomites here in America because America is gonna be the utter desert, okay? But Russia, they're Edomites as well. So everything that applies to Esau applies to them. They're the same people. Matter of fact, what was I gonna go to? Psalms, yeah, 55 and 20. He put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth are smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So these are the attributes of Esau, Edom. All right, the whole entire nation. Despite they speak English, French, Spanish, Dutch, Poland, German, okay? Whatever language they speak, or Russian, they all do the same thing. All right? They give soft answers, and they attributes is something different. All right? They attributes is something completely different. So these lovers of war, these lovers of violence, the Lord hates them. All right? He hates them. And that's why when you read this next chapter I'm about to read, it all makes sense. And this is why, despite the Lord allowing Russia to get its arm back up, to get his get their wind back up, because in overall, armies need to be, they need that proper exercise. They need to get familiar with stains of blood, so to speak. They got to get to the point where they really, you know what I'm saying, they're in wartime. They know what time they're in. Here in America, as this is going on, niggas are still worrying about dumb shit. Okay? In America, they worry about the most dumbest things possible. But that's another subject in its own. But let me read this real quick. Ezekiel 38. I'll start at 1. I'm just going to hit a couple points and that's it. So the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog. So when the Lord commanded Ezekiel to go, he says, set your face against it. All right? Not for it. Despite we, over here, we cheer them on because we want Russia to do his thing. They still our enemy. They're Edomites. All right? They're all the same people. So the same judgment for the Americans is the same judgment. The American Edomites is going to be the same judgment for the Edomites in Russia. All right? Whatever Esau, the scriptures tell you, wherever they go, they're the wicked, right? The border of wickedness. So wherever they go, that's what wickedness dwell. The difference is between there over and over here. Is over here, the morals, there is no more morals. Over there, at least they have some type of composure. All right? But yet again, they still the wicked. This is the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesied against him, and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, I'm against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And those are those lands. So the Lord said he's against them. He's not for them. All right, he's propping them up, but he's not for them. He's not supporting them. He's using them to do for a necessary destruction, man. And that necessary destruction, because they have the key. They're gonna be the ultimate ingredient to the destruction of Babylon the Great. So the Lord propped up this adversary to Babylon. All right, every character has an adversary, and America's greatest adversary, despite China getting into power, North Korea's on a high rate, they're coming up, and all this other stuff, it's always been of the Edomites. It's always been Russia, because guess what? They're Edomites, and they have the same blessing as the Edomites here in America. And that blessing is what? The sword. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And in order for something to be turned back, it means that it had to be in a previous state. Now, news has been saying it all week, that Putin has the idea to bring back the U.S., to revive the USSR. That's his goal. And they don't, it was in chapter 5, I believe. They're not trying to hear that. They don't want to revive the USSR. Well, guess what? according to the scriptures, is going to happen. The USSR is going to be reunited, and there's going to be the greatest adversary to NATO and the EU, to the beast and the whore. All right? That's what it was designed, that's what it was created for. NATO and the EU was created for the sole purpose of going against the USSR. All right? It says, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all clothed with all sorts of armory, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them having their swords. So a great company, they said, are over 150,000 troops going into Ukraine right now, and all sides. I mean, that's the total 150,000. They could be more, they could be less. In Ukraine, the Ukraine president, if anybody doesn't know the history, he's an actor or comedian in Ukraine that was set up by the U.S. Okay, a lot of things that's happening is because the U.S. involvement in Ukraine was a key strategic plan that the beast was poking at the bear. Now the bear is revived. They're like, oh, look, you see what they did? And it's crazy because I'm not thinking about it. When the scripture says, accuse of our brethren, Esau not only accuses us, he accuses even his own self. So here it is, they saying, oh, look how aggressive Russia is. Look how evil they are. But they're the ones that was poking the fun. They was the one that was doing all this wickedness against them. So the Lord has created a great company of armies, man. It says, and here's the other people that's going to be involved real soon. Persia, which is Iran today. Ethiopia, which is Ethiopia. Libya, with them. All of them with shields and helmet. So there's going to be a more... there's going to be more allies to the beast. I mean, the bear. Real soon. Okay? Moab, Ammon is going to probably flip the switch on the U.S. There's going to be a lot of things, man. Real soon. Says Gomer, his bands in the house of Tugarm of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. So be thou prepared and prepare for yourself, because what? You're going to get fucked. Russia's going to get effed up too. They had a hand in the captivity of the Lord's people and the Edomites at the end of the day. All thy company that are assembled unto thee, be thou a guard unto them. What is a guard? Somebody to watch over. And that's why the U.S., Babylon is trying to get into Persia, but the great bear is protecting that invasion from taking place. So the real war is really when Israel and the U.S. go into Iran. That's going to be the end of this war. All right? And simultaneously, Revelation 13 chapter, verse 16, is going to be happening. So we living in a great time right now. So it's something real quick, through the Spirit. This because this is an ongoing thing right now. So shalom to the elected nation of Israel. We live in some beautiful times right now. Shalom.